What's up, everybody? It's your boy Joey Workrump, Pure Bets, back again. You know what it is, Friday. You know what that means, right? Another UFC fighter I got with me. This week we got Steven Ocho Peterson. What's up, Steven?
How's it going, man? Thanks for having me on the show.
Absolutely. I appreciate you coming on the show, taking some time out of your day to hang out with us. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions to start, and then we'll get your thoughts on the three title fights for tomorrow's UFC 261. So first question, I'm always interested to see how a fighter got into MMA. What was the original reason, or how did you originally get into MMA world?
That's a good question. I originally started. I grew up in Los Angeles, so I was a white boy out there and got a lot of fights. Yeah, I just didn't really fit in, and I got a reputation for street fighting. Um, and then when I was in high school, I moved to McKinney, Texas, and that was kind of a change of pace. I was the kid from LA wearing basketball shorts and tall tees, and everybody out here was wearing Abercrombie and skinny jeans. So I didn't really fit in when I moved out here either. So I got made fun of. I joined the football team. Some of the varsity kids were calling me Ocho. Were number 8, and they were, pushing me down to the ground. The play was over, and they kept, fucking with me. Just smashed my head in the ground. So got up, ripped off my pads, and started throwing hands. And they were like, "Oh, this kid Ocho thinks he can fight." So I got a reputation throughout McKinney for getting into street fights, and I was like the bar. If anybody thought they could fight, and then they would call me out, and we'd meet up in a field somewhere, and we throw down. So eventually, I started throwing down with this kid that had some jiu-jitsu training, and everybody called him the MMA fighter. He'd trained a little bit of jiu-jitsu, and he'd catch me in it was a triangle choke after I beat the shit out of him for like 10, 15 minutes. He'd catch me in a triangle choke. I'd be like, what are you doing with your legs? So then I looked into jiu-jitsu. At the time I was watching the Ultimate Fighter and WEC on Versus, and it was just a daily thing. I'd get into fights, so I was like, man, I gotta start training and learning what I'm doing. So I started training. 30 days later, had my first amateur MMA fight, and never looked back. Fell in love with the sport.
That's awesome. That's a cool story. So you did start, in the MMA world quite early. You fought, with LFA, Legacy, even Bellator. So had to be a great feeling when you got the call from the UFC. Can you tell me a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, man, it was like chasing a carrot on a stick. It was like I thought I would never get there. Some of these guys, I always said I didn't want to take that easy route and pad my record and fight a bunch of nobodies. Now looking back, I kind of understand the reasoning behind that. You could fight tough fights your whole career and never get paid. But in the UFC, you go 6-0 fighting a bunch of nobodies. Now you're in the UFC, you're making good money. So I can understand why somebody might go that path. But for me, it was I had to. It was too much pride, and I always wanted to be a champion. So I made sure I was the XKO champion, and then had a couple setbacks when I was chasing the legacy belt, but then I became the LFA champion. Uh, and then, now in the UFC, the mindset's the same. It's XKO champ, local champ, legacy champ, world champ, now UFC champ. That's undisputed world champ. That's the highest crown that we can have in our sport, and that's the goal now. So just that feeling of getting into the UFC, it was like this all wasn't for nothing. I finally got that carrot, and now I'm going to chase the title.
Yeah, cool. So doubling back on that, after getting that first UFC win over Matt Bissett, what did that feel like?
It was a relief, man. It showed me that I belong there, and I knew I belonged there, but I had to validate that. And it's just about consistency. You got to go in there and you got to do it time and time again, no matter what's going on in your life. You're fighting the toughest competition, and you just got to be consistent. You rack up a few of those wins, and now you're on a 3, 4 fight win streak. Now people know your name, your main event status, and that's when we start talking about top 5 fights.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, last time out, you had a very impressive performance over Martin Bravo. The impressive spinning back fist knockout. So that definitely boosted your stock up, in my opinion. Put the UFC on notice. Anything you'd like to share with us after that impressive win?
Yeah, man. After that, I had to get some surgery on my elbow. Like I said, I've been fighting for 12 years, and the miles have definitely added up. And I had an injury that I was dealing with for about 8 years while I was still chasing that carrot. I thought, I thought it was normal. We just got to fight with these things. So when I finally got that knockout, it was time to get my arm fixed and get some surgery. And now I'm healthy, so I'll be back in there real soon. I got some news that's gonna probably come out this weekend, if not definitely next week. Yeah, real soon, less than 2 months, I'll be back in the cage.
Awesome. So we can't break the news here.
Nah, I can't officially break the news. I would like to break the news for you, but I don't have my press release yet. So just waiting on the UFC to break that for me.
Yeah, all good. It was worth a try. So tell me a little bit about training at Fortis MMA. I know they have a great camp over there, multiple UFC stars. And how has your career evolved over there? I know you're now like a coach over there and whatnot. So just tell me a little bit about the whole experience.
Yeah, originally we were Octagon MMA. Coach Safe Saud was the head instructor, and I had throughout my career with LFA fought a bunch of those guys from Octagon MMA, and then after I lost to George Pacarayo, I was like, man, I gotta go train with these guys because I was lone wolf. I didn't have any other MMA pros that I was training with. It was training with jiu-jitsu guys, training with Muay Thai guys, and kind of just getting in the fight and doing what I do. But then I went and started training with those guys, and my game evolved immensely. I went on a 5-fight win streak, won the legacy title from there. Soon after, Coach Safe ended up getting his own spot, and with Darren Williams, and we called it Fortis MMA. We actually helped build the gym. We put the mats in, the wall pads, the cage material. We we built it from the ground up. And since we started, I've been the Muay Thai instructor, or one of the kickboxing instructors, but I'm a crew in Muay Thai, so I hold that title of the Muay Thai instructor, and basically just building up these young cats. And since we've been going now, we started with no UFC fighters. Now we got 20 in the UFC, which is absolutely incredible, and we're just really making a name for ourselves. Like we're the team to beat right now, and we ain't going nowhere.
For sure. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. That's awesome. So a follow-up question was going to ask if you had a target return date, but I think you answered that already. So I have a couple fun questions before I get you out of here. So do you have any fight week or even fight day superstitions that you have?
Not necessarily. I used to wear these smiley face pants every time I would, like, on fight day. I'd wear them all day. I think I got to go find those and bring them back because those definitely brought me luck. They like everybody's like, "What the hell is he wearing?" They're just little smiley face, like got all these smiley face emojis. I got those in like 2009, 2010. So they're a little worn out on the waistband and stuff, but they still look good. So I think I'm gonna bring those back for this next fight.
All right, cool. So one of our show followers sent in a funny question, especially with all this Jake Paul nonsense as well. He asked if there's a historical figure, celebrity, or politician you would enjoy fighting.
Oh man, a politician, Joe Biden stepped in there. Let's go, man.
I hear you. All right, so last question, one that I asked all the fighters is, how did their nickname come about? Yours is Ocho. How did that originate?
Yeah, so that story I was saying earlier, when I was number 8 on the football team, I was the new kid. The varsity team just smashed me, and they were making fun of me, calling me Ocho. And then when I started fighting back, that kind of solidified that nickname. And then when I actually started training and fighting as an amateur, they asked me what my nickname was. I was like, shit, it's Ocho.
Got it. All right, cool. So if it's all right with you, I'll just run through your thoughts on the 3 title fights for tomorrow. The first
All right,
one we
so
got.
we got
Yeah, I got a little.
go
I'll
ahead.
tell you. So first one is Valentina Shevchenko versus Jessica Andrade. Valentina has only lost to Amanda Nunes since 2010. Obviously, she's a beast. This is an interesting matchup versus another stand-up artist in Andrade. She entered this fight after finishing Caitlin Chukagian and having good fights versus Rose Namajunas. So what do you think about the first title fight?
I say Valentina Shevchenko, hands down, better striker. Andrade was getting pieced up by Rose in their fights, and it's like, I mean, there's levels to this, and I think Shevchenko is just on another level as far as the striking goes, and I see Andrade getting KO'd in round 2 or 3.
Yeah, I agree with you. Andrade is someone who will continue to move forward too, so I can see her getting knocked out. Yeah, I agree. All right, so co-main is Weili Zhang versus Rose Namajunas. Obviously, Zhang 21-1, hasn't lost since her first professional fight back in 2013. She's finished 2 over 5 UFC fights with win over studs in Joanna Jędrzejczyk, Jessica Andrade, Tisha Torres. Rose enters this fight after avenging her first loss to Andrade, which was, kind of a, not say fluke, but a little weird. And she's won 4 of her last 5, beating Joanna herself twice and Michelle Waterson. Out of her 9 pro wins, 8 are by submissions. What do you think about the co-main?
That's an incredible fight. I'm always a fan of Thug Rose, and she always goes out there, throws down. But Weili is a beast. Man, that's a tough fight. That's a tough one to call. But I'm just going to go ahead, and since I'm a fan of Thug Rose, I'm going to go with Thug Rose. I think she's going to come out with a fire in her ass. She's going to go out there and just throw caution to the wind and take Weili Yang out. I mean, the way she did Joanna, in their first fight was incredible. I think it was the rematch. She made her tap to strikes.
Yep.
She just like opened up a can of whoop ass out of nowhere. So I think she's definitely capable, and I just want to see her go out there and get it done.
Awesome. All right, so the main event is a rematch, Kamaru Usman, Jose Masvidal. What do you think about this fight? More the same from the first one, or will a full camp help Masvidal get it done here?
I think a full camp will definitely change things up. It'll bring Usman out of his comfort zone. Because in that first fight, Usman he knew he just needed to kind of basically lay and pray him up against the cage, and control him, because he didn't have a full camp. But now that Gamebred's had a full camp, he's going to come out. He's going to be able to push the pace. He's going to be able to keep up a high pace and not get held on to. So it's going to force Usman to strike with him, which makes it really interesting. But I still got to bet on Usman. I think Usman, when you test him, that's when he comes out and he brings his A game.
Yeah, I hear you there as well. All right, well, Steven, thanks again for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. Is there anything you'd like to plug? Can you let our followers know where they could find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter at Ocho08. I want to thank my sponsors, Hutch's Barbecue, New Lifespan, CWL.law. Who else pays me? I think that's about it right now.
All right, sweet. Well, thanks again, man. We'll definitely be rooting for the future. FYI, I am sponsored by Sauce Bay Hot Sauce. And not sure if you like hot sauce or not, but it's an all-natural hot sauce seen on season 9 of Hot Ones. A lot of celebrities have tried it, including Stone Cold Steve Austin, Adam Devine, Kristen Bell, Juice WRLD, Schoolboy Q. Nothing but good reviews. So as a thank you for taking some time, I'd like to send you a bottle or two if you just send me your address in the DM or whatnot.
Sounds good, man. I look forward to trying it.
Sweet. So another great week with another great guest. Thanks again to Steven Peterson. Make sure to hit the like button, everybody. Subscribe to the channel. If you aren't, go follow me on Twitter at Joey Work. Follow the whole team. Follow Steven on his social medias as well. Good luck, everybody, this weekend. Enjoy the fights. We're out. Peace.